Morning, everyone. I hope that was not an awkward silence because we don't specialise in those at all. I was actually trying to figure out the random questions, so that's why I was silent. And then Cam made it go live. He did tell me, but I wasn't paying attention, so that's not unusual. I hope everyone's had a good week, a good fishy week or non-fishy week. Cam has asked me to ask everyone to comment while they're watching this about if they think we will stay on topic or not, or even talk about the topic this time. So please do that on whatever. I guess you can't do that on Spotify or Apple, even though we weren't on Apple.
You can do it on Spotify.
We can do it on Spotify and Apple. There you go. And Cam actually checks the messages now because for years we were not. So yeah. And piranha are not legal in New Zealand, Rebecca. We can get the dumb red pakus, though.
I don't know if we can.
Oh, we did.
We used to be able to.
We used to be able to. I think they probably shouldn't be able to get them because, they're dumb.
I might be totally talking out of turn, and I might be completely wrong. But I think they changed the status of them a couple of years back. And there was someone that had a whole bunch in QT, and they weren't allowed out. I might be wrong, but I thought that was what happened.
Okay. Well, yeah. Yeah. Well, we used to be allowed red paku, and I'm pretty sure we are allowed silver dollars. We've got silver dollars, so they should be allowed. But yeah, no piranhas. Piranhas, yeah. I don't even know if they'd be that cool. They don't look that vicious when I've seen them in like people's aquariums and stuff overseas. Don't know. Anyway, what have you guys been up to? And Sunday is definitely Father's Day at some stage.
Hey, it's this week too.
Oh, Sunday's Father's Day.
I only know that it's because my daughter's birthday.
It's not this week. It's not this week.
Pretty sure it is. Oh, it is next week.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Look at that. I was all ready to give my daughter
You don't know your
daughter's date. I know the date. I don't need to know anything else. Just
I don't know. I don't know many of my. I know the month and the day and the month, but I forget the years because they're so close together. And bucktooth tetras. Yes, Nelson has a massive tank of them, and they're pretty vicious little buggers. He was throwing prawns in the other day or something when I was there, and they were just tearing them apart. They're pretty vicious. They're pretty cool. He had one jump out and took some photos of its teeth, and it looked, mental. So there you go.
Cool.
So what have you guys been up to then? Father's Day's on Sunday. You guys are specialising in awkward silence today and just making me sit here and talk.
We had a meeting beforehand, and it was like, Ryan doesn't normally bring much to the party. Let's just get him to talk more.
Oh, right.
Your punishment for being late.
I've had some good. I've been in the fish room this week. I managed to order a piece of glass to fix the bottom of my last remaining tank, so that was good. The guy that I bought a whole bunch of massive ass sponge filters, like big ass sponge filters for my tanks, and he also makes aquariums. So I got some glass cut, and he bought it all out. So that was good. The big massive filters, unfortunately, are a bit big for the tanks that I'm putting them in. Like, to physically fit them in the gap between the tank and the shelf above, you've got to pull them apart and then try and reassemble them in the tank with fuck all access. So it's not ideal. I don't know how I'm going to catch fish out of those tanks because putting those filters out is going to be difficult, or clean them. So yeah, again, but they're cool and they're big, and they've got air stones in them, not making their own air stone within the internal structure of it like the other ones do. So there you go.
When I saw you send a photo through of them, I definitely thought you were compensating. We've got a banner come up here. Question time. Is Ryan bald?
Hashtag yes. Hashtag super yes. Let us know in the comments. Oh yeah, cool. But yeah, the big sponge filters. I'm just getting sick of those little ones getting clogged so fast, like every couple of weeks, and the tank's going manky. So I thought, hey, I'll try one big massive one and then stack the little ones. So I've got a lot more filtration. Filtration works.
Surprising how important it is.
Yeah. Unfortunately, well, I actually indirectly had my water tested the other day because I had a plant guru come out and he laughed at my plants and said they're all nitrate deficient. So obviously I've got very low nitrates because my plants are not getting any nitrates. So things must be working.
Must be your automatic water change that doesn't top itself back up again.
What's that?
Must be the automatic water change, the automatic water drain that doesn't top itself back up again.
Yeah, I'd say the water change system probably pours enough water and that the nitrates are low. That's the theory. So yeah. And Rebecca's talking about eating fish, which yeah.
That's not allowed.
That may or may not have been me that started that conversation.
Fish are friends, not food. That's what we got to remember.
Anything else going on in your room? Any fuck ups for the week?
Any shipping of fish? Yeah, fuck you, Matt.
I actually wasn't even meaning that. But now that you're on that topic,
Matt, I'm still angry at Matt because he was supposed to come up and then he made some lame ass fucking excuse about work or some shit and didn't come up.
Please.
And so I had a whole bunch of fish sitting here for him to take back, and so he didn't come. I had to ship the bloody things, and yesterday I was fucking rushing home to ship these fish, and I thought I'd ship some to Matt, and I was running around like just like super fish bagging man, and got to the courier with 1 minute to spare, and the couriers were angry with me, and the lady at the post shop was like, the courier's not going to take it, he's already left, and I'm yelling at the courier down the road, and they're not even addressed yet because I was that late. I was writing on the boxes in the post shop and stuff. It was just a nightmare. And then I realized they didn't put the heat packs in the box, so I'm like, so they've gone, because I realized when I got back to the fish room that they were not the box. But I found that heat packs do nothing anyway, so they should be okay. They just go cold.
Proof will be in the pudding in about an hour's time.
Well, they're already out for delivery, so you might get them soon if the doors are open.
Yeah. That courier, about 8 o'clock normally.
Oh, there you go. So hopefully they're okay because there's a whole bunch of fish in there. But I found heat pads to be extremely useless anyway, so I'm not really too worried. But I am obviously nervous because apparently it's cold in Palmerston North.
It's always cold in Palmy.
I've forgotten that other places in New Zealand go below 10 overnight more than once a year.
You used to live down here.
I did used to live down there, yeah. And I spent many hours on a night shift on the side of a freaking airfield in a freezing hangar, so I know how freaking cold it gets working on aircraft with frozen hands, and the wind was horrible. Yeah, so it is cold down there. I just forget. I get lazy, get old, you know. So yeah, I don't think there's any fuck ups though this week. Apart from that. Yeah.
Success.
Yeah. Great success, yeah. Stripping bunches of fish at the moment. They seem to have all started breeding for some reason. Don't know why. It's not spring yet. But yeah,
it's sort of like still about a month early, really.
Yeah, usually they.
You mean like 8 days early before spring?
New Zealand spring though. Come on.
I mean, the temperature in the. I guess I don't measure the pressures and stuff, but the temperature hasn't changed. I guess the fish won't care about the temperature because they're in a heated fish room. So, do they pick up on atmospheric pressures? I think they do.
I suspect so. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe that's changing.
I was reading something a while ago. Can't remember where I was reading it, but yeah, they pick up on the atmospheric pressure changes and all those sorts of things. Obviously, humidity and heat is controlled within our fish rooms, but we can't control pressures.
Well,
we can, but we don't.
When I say humidity and temperature is controlled within my fish room, it's very poorly controlled in my fish room. So it definitely gets a lot warmer over summer because I have no cooling. So it definitely will get hotter. so they'll know about it. Yeah, the fish have been good. I've been liking the fish. There's lots of babies, lots of babies, so that's good. Moving stuff around. Going to strip my Yushisha, so I'm excited about that. Also had to do a shout out to Daniel Exton, old Dex, who's one of our biggest fans. He keeps messaging me.
Is he like Stan?
What's that?
Is he like Eminem's version of Stan to us?
Oh, definitely, yeah. Except he's not going to do what's standard in the song because that's really, really bad. You know, we don't like that. But yeah, he said I think it'll be just fitting to do a bit of a shout out to him. So if, on three, if you guys do a shout out to Dex, 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's awkward. Oh, there you go, Dex. You got your shout out. Great. Awkward silence again. That's what Dex loves.
For our biggest fan, he doesn't come in and comment, so I think more of a call out that we never see him in the chat.
Maybe we've got it. Maybe he's just made up.
Yeah, but never leaves any comments after the fact either. Maybe he isn't real.
He just messages me, and he messaged me on Monday and reminded me to do the podcast tomorrow, but it was actually a Tuesday, so. He's too keen. He said he wanted to get his week of awkward silence, his weekly dose of awkward silence. So what have you guys had going on in your fish streams? Anything exciting?
I've had a little bit going on. Angelfish bread, that was cool. So they have just started free swimming in the last day.
I'm really interested because you sent me a photo of these angelfish, and I don't like those angelfish. I think they're dumb. They just look. What do you call them? You call them marbles or something? I call them koi's, but that's wrong apparently. But I don't like the multicolored ones, the gold marbles. Okay, so I think they're real dumb angelfish, those ones. But then you sent me the genetics, and it looks like they can produce like 400 different fish, and I'm wondering how that happens. Like, do you get one of each in the spawn, or do you how do you? Yeah, I'm not sure how it can produce all those things.
Neither. I'm not the one who recorded the gene history on them, but I'm definitely interested to see what each spawn is going to bring up. I don't know. Obviously, so the people that I got them from have recorded the breeding lines and everything on it. So theoretically, they hold those genes, and I mean, I'm not doing my name any justice, not understanding the Punnett square at all.
The Punnett square.
We shall see. But I am excited to see. They are pretty cool looking angels, much to Ryan's disgust. Other than that,
they're 100%. They're 100% not cool looking angels, but they least they don't have bent fins. At least they don't have bent fins, so I'll give you that. But I am very interested to see how they're going to throw like 400 different varieties in from one pair and how that works.
Well, it's not going to be, obviously, you're not going to get a bit of every possible makeup in every single batch.
Just like if you were to spawn with Kim, for example, you're potentially not going to have children that gets passed on the bald gene.
Oh yeah. It's like
that's how genetics work.
So when you like reproduce with really close blood relatives and you get deformities come out, is that similar sort of thing?
And I knew as soon as I brought up,
you notice, I'm
going to walk straight into that.
We've noticed that there's been a lot of things that have certainly led us to suggest inbreeding with some of the messages or some of the things that you've done over the years. So your IQ level is definitely not what it should be.
All of my children have 11 fingers and 10 toes, so everything's okay.
I've got a spare for later.
Yeah, I can cut one off, get the ACC money.
Yeah, but I guess for me when I saw that breakdown, I was like, how do you get that? So it'd be interesting to see. Obviously, it's how genetics works. But yeah, I'm not sure how you can physically get that many varieties. I'm waving.
Oh, so you wave now? What a dick!
It's because Kim's here. She's way to work, so you know. Anyway,
I'd be trying to get out of the house if you were around as well.
yeah, we already know you didn't want to come down here and visit. That's why I had to ship these fish.
It's not
And
down.
also,
it's up.
and I also had to pick up some polyboxes to ship these fish, and I had to pick
That
them
audio
up
was great.
on the way to pick up a kid from school. So I took the Swift, and they were big polyboxes. So I just had these polyboxes stacked up to the roof, and they were touching on the windows and each other, so they were squeaking the whole time, and I had to drive like maybe 50 minutes or 60 minutes or something with them, and pick up a teenager from school. Of course, she didn't actually comment, but it was the most embarrassing thing in the world. And yeah, I sent Matt a voice message, and I said, I hope you can fucking hear all these polyboxes because this is your fault. And I was going mad, and I couldn't turn up the stereo loud enough to drain it out. So yeah, that's my story about polyboxes and flipping fish. I hate it.
Excuses don't get results.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I do have more trophies babies. That's what you're going to ask me. Yeah,
I've got maybe 3 or 4 holding at the moment that I've got a strip. They've started breeding too.
Oh.
The Boise have. So I don't know what they're up to.
Whispering sweet nothings to them.
Yeah, I wasn't going to mention it because I haven't actually stripped them yet, and they're probably just holding food or gravel or something stupid like that, or like 1 fry each. So I get like 4 fry from 4 females, but they look like they're breeding. So
I did have one that I stripped, and she looked like she had a massive mouthful. So I was like, "Oh, okay, like this might be good."
That's what she said.
Yeah, walked into that one, and stripped it, and she had 1. Like,
I heard you're pretty good at stripping her. Right, I'll be back now.
Yes, yeah. We're going into the members only area without charging anyone any money, so you're getting this for free. But yes, they do tend to look like they've got big, massive gobfuls and giant loads, and they do not. So, yeah. It's because their eggs and their babies are so massive.
Yeah. Otherwise, the only other thing I had, I shipped a bunch of fish. So I sent out 3 boxes last week and a couple of boxes yesterday, all with heat packs. All had heat packs.
Well, these ones have got heat packs. They're still in my fish room. The heat packs are there. I even took them out of the packets like 2 hours before I shipped to warm up and massaged all the stuff through them. You know, like they're there. They're probably still warm.
They're probably better off without you massaging. That would probably be worse.
Yeah. Happy endings all round. Anyway, what about you, Cameron? How have you fared this week? Have you been doing lots of fishy activities?
I got some new fishing last week.
Considering you own a fish shop, I would hope you've done some fishy activities.
Yeah, my hand's been wet at least once this last 7 days. It got some new fishing from Thursday last week, can't remember now. So we had a customer after some ottos, so I did an order for them, and they were easily the best ottos I've seen in a very, very long time. They were big, they were chunky, they were looking really good, they were eating straight away. They are fantastic fish. And
even then, they were still only 2 centimeters long when you say they were big.
Yeah.
and ridiculously expensive.
No, they're fairly good price, especially now that I've looked around at what some other people are charging them. I'm realizing that I could probably charge about double what I'm charging and still be competitive, but that's okay.
Well, they, I assume they were wholesale fish because they're not really. Some people have bred them 1s and 2s, but I don't think they can. I think, well, they probably can be, but I don't think anyone in New Zealand seems to be commercially breeding them.
I don't believe there is anyone commercially breeding them in New Zealand. So no, they were imported from wholesale. But yeah, they were really, really nice, like ridiculously cool fish.
Okay.
So, yep, got them in, and they also came with some neon tetras. Don't laugh at me when I say that. They're absolutely spectacular looking as well. They're incredibly red. Like, I'm not sure if the importers have got a new supplier or something's changed somewhere along the line, but these are by far the nicest neons that I've seen in a long time as well. Like, they are chunky, there's no deformities, they are bright coloured, they look spectacular. So I've been pretty happy about that.
Cool. And obviously they came from a wholesaler too. It's awesome because sometimes it's hard because sometimes the wholesalers do get really good fish in, and sometimes that wholesaler maybe 6 months ago had the same fish that weren't so good. So it's always hard to know. Sometimes you watch for stuff that disappear and then come back on the list and then take a punt on it, but there still can be a risk of everything dying, you know?
That to me is the hardest part. Like, one import or one order, you get these really nice fish, and then you do it again, you order them again, and they are just, for lack of a better term, us. That's the bit that annoys me the most, the quality, and that where along the line that happens, I don't know, but that's the frustrating part.
Yeah, and you just don't know until they've shown up.
Yeah.
And
So
obviously they're not going to email you and say, "Oh, guys, the neon tetras we got on this time are a little bit manky. We're not going to sell them to you." They're going to be like, "We got to sell these things to make money." So you know.
Also got a large green phantom for a customer as well. Absolutely show-stopping beautiful fish. Again, sometimes they come in looking small and average, but this thing was a really good size fish, and probably about the size of my pen, or the size of a pen, which was nice.
And Matt was looking for females for them, weren't you, Matt? You've got males, don't you?
Well, I was just going to say a really interesting thing. So someone told me last week that there are females coming into the country now. So obviously they're all wild caught, or in theory, are wild caught.
Presumably. Yeah.
And previously they had only been catching males, and now there's been a bunch of females coming. So, yeah, races on to find one. If anyone knows of any female green phantoms, please let me know, because I desperately am trying to find some.
Cool. I didn't know that they were only bringing in males and or just recently got females. I naturally assume because they're predominantly wild caught, it'll just be luck of the Irish and you get what you get and you don't get upset kind of scenario.
I wonder if it's like that, you know, like we watched your live stream the other day and he was talking about some of the African cichlids, how they just hang around, they only really see females in the lake, like one male and like a school of like 50 females or something. And they don't really know where all the females go. I wouldn't have thought a pleco would be like that though, but they don't really know where all the males go, in the lake, but males are very rare. I think they've Nimbochromis, your giraffes, your venustus, they were saying that was the same. And then afterwards, I was looking through an Ed Connings book and I saw, I think it was Living Stony, and there was just a school of like 50 females there on a big grass bed. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. That's what he was talking about in the book.
Wonder if it's similar to like how lions work. One male dominates a whole massive area, and then with all the females, another male disappears.
Yeah, well, I mean, are the males there, or is the lake, because of the pH and the KH and the GH or the temperature, is it just producing lots of females?
Rebecca might know.
Be an interesting question.
On the plecos.
I know
do
that
males and females act differently? Do they hang around in different parts of waterways, which makes males easier to catch than females, or something along those lines?
Maybe the females are all, I don't know about those ones, but maybe the females are all like more hanging around in caves and stuff, trying to get males to come into the caves and give them, breed with them. And the males
vice
are
versa.
the females.
Vice versa, the males are hanging around the caves trying to get females to come in, and the females are doing what they're doing elsewhere, kind of like a real life. These males try and shake their stuff, and females come towards them.
Yeah,
much like Ryan's life, he's hanging around a cave. I
just wait for them to come to me. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, Males stick to caves, females roam
Yeah.
around, while males are easier to catch. Well, there you go.
It's just like real life. Males are easier to catch than females. Or human life.
Well, I mean, if you're going out trying to catch males, good on you, mate. You know, there's apps for that. If that's what you're into, you know, it wouldn't surprise me, to be honest with you.
Walked into another one.
Surprise me. Well, we've talked about that. They almost sound like a niche species that we've already talked about without even talking about it, without even telling about it.
Look at us go.
Really good.
Now,
Good.
we did have some listener mail that we needed to go into while I look up the random question. Cam had some.
Yep.
No one sends me mail. Jeez.
So this has come in via my website, thefishroom.co.nz, if you weren't aware. Look at that for a shameless plug. It is from Rowan Smithers. Hi, Cam. I've been listening to Three Idiots podcast, and you seem to be well read on the best fish food. I think that was directed directly at me, not at you two idiots. But anyway.
Okay, all right.
Anyway, I feed my Oscar Hikari cichlid gold, but looking to supplement with something else as he/she gets a bit bored of it. What would you suggest? And does this count as listener mail? You bet your ass it counts as listener mail, Rowan.
So is this just done to trigger me?
Potentially.
Yeah. Hikari, you just throw that shit out, put it in the garden, do whatever you got to do with it, but don't feed it to any fish that you like. It's horrible shit. Get rid of it. Bloody hell. I hate Hikari. There was one fish page that decided they didn't like it, so they tried to do a promotion to try and, you know, a selfless promotion to give it all away and try and promote their numbers, you know, like it's just, it's rubbish.
I think that
Rubbish.
had great success with that, though.
Yeah, well, anyway.
Maybe
I guess
people were trying to fill up the rubbish bin.
You've got to question the ethics of anyone that would give someone Hikari, you know, like it's like, yeah, Hikari has nice packaging. It does. That's why people buy it, because it looks like it's good. And I used to buy it too, because I was like, oh, it's got a picture of it's green and it's got a picture of a Tropheus on it. It must be for vegetarians. But then you look at it and you're like, well, actually, it's for fish that eat flour and yeast and wheat, which is none. So yeah. So they want to know better foods to feed their Oscar apart from Hikari. Probably anything.
NLS.
Yeah, NLS would be good. You could probably get into your Rapashi. Again, as a group, we all like Rapashi. Rapashi's good shit. It's a shame we can't get a vegan one.
Chop will do a softline monster food, which I quite like, which I was feeding some bigger brutes with. Comes in a good sized pellet if your fish are big enough, and if they're not that big, it's quite soft enough to break in half or break into bits to feed them as well. So I think that's quite a good option.
For an Oscar too, you could, if you only had one or two of them and you had a bit of patience, you could make your own sort of homemade food, your frozen foods. That's quite cool. Interesting that I've been hearing a bit about the shrimp and thiramine and stuff though, and I don't actually know too much about feeding shrimp. Do you guys know much about that? I haven't actually done a lot of research on that, because I used to use shrimp as a base for my frozen foods. Just get the shrimps and then just peas and veggies and paprika and garlic and all sorts of stuff and make this big brew up and blend it and feed it to the fish. But now I'm like, is the thiramine bad? I don't know. So
shrimp or prawn, or do they both contain it?
I don't know. I thought it was one of them. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But I've just heard it and seen it put out on Facebook recently. I don't know if it's a fad, like someone somewhere has said it's got thiramine in it and it does or doesn't. I'm not sure. I haven't actually researched it myself, and I don't feed a lot of it, so it hasn't actually been a big concern for me. It certainly didn't seem to bother my fish when I was feeding the frozen food, but I probably didn't do it long enough to have any effect. So, yeah, fish food, look at the ingredients. If it has ingredients like a curry, don't feed it to your fish. Sold, done.
As far as like supplementing goes, because that was part of Ryan's question.
Oh, yeah.
By that, I'm assuming you're meaning an alternative as opposed to adding like phytoplanktons or whatever into what you're feeding and soaking into that. If you are meaning an alternative, I'm personally more of the fan of sticking to one food and feeding that predominantly all the way through, and then potentially changing, as opposed to feeding one day, one another day, and one another day. In the wild, tend to eat the same stuff more often than not, and have a smaller roaming distance than what we probably assume. So feeding lots of different things and lots of variety, which is good for humans, I don't know if it's 100% fantastic for fish, personally.
No, I try and feed a variety to try and hit all the different vitamins, because I don't believe we can actually get anything that is as good as what they eat in the wild, or as close to what they eat in the wild.
I agree with you there.
Except for possibly your Amazonian fish, your agapo potentially hits that, and that's what it's designed to do, I guess. But there's not a lot of foods that actually hit what they're supposed to hit. So my question is,
if you're trying to hit particular vitamins, what vitamins are you trying to hit?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to cover everything. Yeah.
So, humans need vitamin A and vitamin D. My fish must need it as well, because on the additives, do they actually need that? And do the fish that you're feeding from this catch point in Lake Tanganyika need the same vitamins as the fish that have been line bred for the last 27,000 years from Lake Malawi? Your ugly Obi peacocks need the same thing.
Yeah, and that is the $1 million question that we're probably never going to be able to answer, because no one's ever done that research and probably won't do that research. So, unless, although Rebecca did talk about that research when she was talking about doing her freshwater plecos, which was quite interesting. So maybe someone would do it one day, but
we're counting on you, Rebecca, to change the entire scene.
Yeah, go to Lake Malawi and start analysing every single fish. But
I did just get some live listener mail, and they were very disappointed to hear the viewpoint on Hikari, because they've just sent a photo with 8 bags of different Hikari food that they have sitting on their bench.
Sorry about it.
So I'm pretty sure that's like the whole range there. Every single bag is different, and that's probably every type of Hikari food you could buy, and they've probably wasted a lot of money.
Each one's probably just flour with some green additive, and one's probably flour with some red additive, and there you go.
So I won't name and shame them, but they did say I could share that.
But anyway, I mean, that's I used to feed it and I didn't have any major problems, but long term, it's definitely going to be messier for your tank and bad for your fish. So I would say get them off that if you can. It's not recommended. And additives in food, I do that every week or two. I put in a bunch of stuff just because it seems to make sense to. A whole bunch of crap.
I also do the same thing because you told me to. You said do this, okay, I'll do it. So I do the same thing with phytoplanktons and all that kind of stuff, and zooplanktons.
Yeah, I put all the zoos and the vitalities and the garlic guards and all that stuff through, figuring that Hey, the bug. I haven't actually looked at the ingredients on the bug bites. Is the bug bites the same as all the rest of it, or is it actually better?
Yeah, it's not Hikari to start with.
It's Fluvalet.
Yeah.
But obviously. But so what? I put all those vitamins in once a week because I figure they won't hurt. They can, and it seems to make sense to me. Whether it's needed or not, don't know. But
maybe if you took more vitamins, you wouldn't be quite so bald. But your face is extremely shiny right now.
It is like when the sun hits his eyes like a big pizza pie.
It's pretty much as soon as they asked that thing about Hikari, his face just started glowing, And I can't even do anything about it because I pulled the blind off that window and never put it back up when I put the insect screen on it. So there you go. Throw it out. Got sick of it. Bug bites is awesome. BSF black soldier fly, maybe.
Yeah.
Is that what that means?
Yeah.
Oh, I can just move forward. There you go. There we go. Fixed it. I am a fixer. Yeah, I haven't actually played with fish lines. I don't think they do enough quantity for me, so it's not really worth it.
I don't think the African cichlid food is all that fantastic from them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's the same. Everyone does different things better and then worse than others, eh? I really did like Omega-1, and I thought it was a pretty good, well-rounded food. But then it died, so there you go. Has it died internationally or just New Zealand?
Just New Zealand, I think.
And I think it was because they were getting sick of no supplies, right? They were just they couldn't get stock in.
Something on those lines. Something on those lines.
I've looked on my overseas sites where I used to buy food, and they're always out of stock of the big of half the range. So I think it is an international problem. Can we touch base with prawns and shrimps? I've been told prawn for Oscars. That's what
Which
I
base
feed.
are they wanting to touch?
Oh God! Oh no! Second base, definitely.
Yeah, as for that, I don't know. This is all news to me. Rebecca said that prawns are high in theaminancy. Not going to even try and say that word.
Yes,
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what that means. Yeah, that's all I've got to offer on the topic.
I was just googling it. So,
I think discus breeders put that in their beef tart mix, which I also don't particularly like, don't they?
yeah, I don't like beef heart mix. I think that was.
I am in ace. I am in assy.
Thigh in your face.
Assy.
Thigh in your ass. Oh no, that's different. Sorry.
Breaks down vitamin B1, the same reason you don't feed mussels. There you go. Look at that. We are learning together.
Maybe one day we won't be idiots.
It will create thiamine deficient diets in fish. Common yet serious problem that have feed a goldfish. Huh? Goldfish apparently follow them as well, eh? Piranha and Oscars fed with goldfish diets by home aquarists often have very common fatty liver disease. There you go. So you basically don't feed them that, but yeah.
See, I didn't know that about goldfish, and I knew that was the reasoning. I didn't know that prawn was the same. So I would question how much needs to be fed before it becomes an issue. Is it like a one and done, and everything's going to cause issues, or is it like if you're?
It's 100% not a one and done, because I know people, and I've done it myself for years, and never had any major issues.
But have you autopsied the fish afterwards and found fatty liver? Or
yeah. That I've noticed. Maybe shortened the life.
Yeah, and that's my point. And trophies won't breed.
Well, there you go. Thiamine deficiency generally causes neurological issues, spinning and such. There you go. So a lot of people go, oh, he's got a swim bladder issue. Must be something else, but we don't actually know what causes it. You know, why are the fish dying after 2 years when they should last 15? Again, don't know.
Cool. Note to self, I won't be buying any prawns for the fish anytime soon. I wonder if I eat lots of prawns, if that'll mean that I start spinning right round, baby, right round, spinning.
You can be a breakdancer at the Olympics for Australia. You can spin around on the ground. You can ray gun it.
How good!
I'm looking forward to that at the wedding. You could do some breakdancing.
I have been known to breakdance at weddings before, to be fair. often when I'm doing that, I've got no clothes on, but that was not drinking Cam, so you might be okay this time.
That's all right. I'll make sure I spike the punch because it sounds like a good time.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Now we can't feed our fish anything. So cool, great.
Rebecca said that cockles. I think cockles. One of the fine, large frozen foods, but could be a heavy metal risk. Do they like Pantera and whatnot?
Yeah, I was thinking, do they like heavy metal?
Dubai roaches might be better. There we go.
Yeah,
cool.
Look at
that. We are all learning together. This is a safe learning environment, people. Well done. We did well.
But have we answered the question? Yes. Feed it anything else apart from a curry, and
I think we've asked it. Yeah.
And Rapashi's good, and
that was
probably
a
not
really
prawns. Yeah. Cool. It's almost like we're trying to stay off the topic. The random. Have we got any other listener mail apart from Hikari chat? Because I love Hikari chat.
That's all I have.
I haven't been volunteered for anything, but Aramex did ring me and make sure I was coming to the information evening, so I had to politely decline. So I'd found another opportunity, and I wasn't interested in being an Aramex delivery driver. I was going to say I'm surprised that you guys managed to deliver this mail to me because you can't deliver a package. But I thought, hey, I'll give them a break. They work for Aramex. Their life probably already isn't that great, So the random question for today is:
Tom's gone quiet. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. Sorry, Tom's gone quiet on you.
Yeah, he's probably from my emails is probably about to light up any second now, I'd say, and go, ding ding ding, you've been nominated for this. So the random question is: what is your favorite car that you've ever owned or been in?
Oh, that I've either owned or been in.
Yeah.
Either.
Well, you can choose, or you can do one of each.
Are we talking road vehicles or
just whatever? It's a car. Yeah. It's got 4 wheels and it goes brum brum.
Yeah, sprint car.
Oh, have you been in a sprint car?
Yeah, driven a sprint car. Yep.
Oh, that's cool.
Flipped a sprint car.
What?
So started off, it was at a local track, open day that was there. And so I'm going around the track and I think I'm doing pretty good, kind of shitting my pants, not wanting to wreck this thing and getting it a little bit sideways. But these things have just got so much power.
Yeah, they're like 600-700 horsepower and they weigh like 500 kgs. Insane power to weight ratio.
Get pulled into the infield and he goes, hey, you got to give it more gas. And so I get a little bit quicker, and then it ends up spinning on me and I do a nice 360 and up and over.
Oh no. Someone else's sprint car.
Yeah. That was
how did you fill out the insurance forms on that one?
Yeah, insurance. What's that?
How was the awkward conversation afterwards? How was the owner?
No, it was fun.
I imagine if they only let other people use it, they're probably not going to have their favourite sprint car, probably their old dunga sprint car that old mate has down the road type thing, right?
They're all snap-on parts as well, so everything it's a couple of bolts on, off, put the replacement on. It's fairly easy and quick to do. These things, I don't know if you've seen them crash before, but when they crash while they're racing each other, they just flip and flip and flip.
Oh yeah, I grew up at the speedway. My dad used to race speedway cars, so I love them. Yeah.
Yeah, an hour later they'll be back out on the track and they look brand new again. It's all just snap on, snap off.
Just costs money.
You'll be pleased to know the fish have arrived. Let's not do a live unboxing.
I was going to say, should we do a live unboxing?
Do it. I want to see if they're warm enough. Go on, you got to go check.
I'll do it afterwards.
Sitting in the sun. Okay. That's cool. I'd love to drive a sprint car. That's cool. My biggest regret was my dad got out of speedway before I was old enough to even drive one of them. So that's gutting. I've got photos of me as a kid and all of them, but never got to drive one. So that sucks.
They would have been the old school stock cars as well, when it was just like open class before they split them up, and it was just carnage back then.
No, it was he used to race a TQ, so it was 3/4 midget, basically.
Yeah.
So but yeah, okay, that's cool. My one is I had a Toyota Corolla that I loved to the earth and back, and I owned it from about 600,000 Ks to about 620,000 Ks, and then I sold it to a mate, and then I bought it back at 660,000 Ks, and I managed to take it through 666,666 on the odometer, all the way to 711,000 Ks, and then I sold it / gave it because she took 3 years to pay for it, pay $500 for it to an employee of mine. And now I don't know what happened to it, but I wish I'd never sold it because it was such a good car. It was not a race car, but it just went. It just kept passing warrants and drove well and did everything it should do. So yeah, I love that car. Everyone else hated it. Paint had fallen off it, and it was just like, it was terrible, but looked terrible, but just always keep going. No matter what you did to it, keep going. And you didn't have to change the oil because it used so much oil. You just kept it topped up. Constant oil change system. It was the original engine and gearbox too. Done 711,000 Ks. Yeah, brilliant car.
Nice.
Yeah. Cameron, what about you? GDR?
They don't have cars. They're still horse and carriage.
That suits you.
Favorite car that I have owned would have been my Nissan Leopard.
That cool car.
96 3-litre V6 single turbo. It was like 2,000 tons. It didn't fall off the road. It was really great to drive. Just real heavy and just felt nice. It was really nice to just drive long distance in. Favorite car
would have been good on the straights and not so good on the corners, but that's
yeah. Favorite car I've driven would have been my brother's Maloo, which was the exact opposite. It went really, really fast and pushed you in the back of your seat.
Yeah. I must say, I did go for a ride. A guy bought some fish off me, and he bought a Tesla out, a Tesla Model S Plaid, and put it in like ludicrous mode and did 0 to 100 in 2 seconds down our street.
Holy heck.
And I've never felt anything so cool, but also like scary. Well, your stomach's 100 meters behind you on the road. It just felt like a brick wall was hitting you as you accelerated that fast. He took me and my son out for a drive, and I was like, it doesn't change gears; it just goes. You know?
Yeah, it's just consistent. You put your foot down, and you're not picking yourself out of that seat until you take your foot off the accelerator.
You just literally go, and you can't breathe, and then you're at 100. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty impressive. Nowhere near as fun as a big dirty old V8 or something with that makes all the noise and sound, but still impressive. And Vishal has drift cars. Vishal has drift cars, and yes, I definitely need to go out to the track with him and have a laugh sometime and go for a ride in one of his cars because he's got some cool cars, and he's a pretty good drifter. So yeah.
Is he saying that we can drive them? Like, forget about the sprint car story. I definitely didn't crash it, but like, can we drive it?
No, you're not allowed to drive it.
3 Idiots talks cars.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, that's the question. And now, oh shit! Look at the time. We haven't even got the topic yet.
I mean, I'm definitely more anxious about these fish. So if we could stick to time,
go get them and open them up.
No,
Do it.
Because they're also not actually going here. They're going somewhere else. So I don't want to open them up and then have to fucking repackage them.
Well, you probably want to open them up to find out if they're all dead or not. Because there's no point taking them to the shop if they're dead.
Let's also not give Ryan that rap. It's amazing in the first instance that he shipped some fish. Let's not then add the threat that when Ryan does ship fish, they're all dead.
To be fair, though, you haven't even paid for these fish yet. So I've shipped them before they were paid for. So that is going further than my usual reputation. Right?
It is.
So even if they arrive dead, I'm up in the world because I shipped them without them being paid for. Right? No?
Yeah.
Also, speaking of cars, I'm anxious to get off this call because the guy that's rebuilding my engine texted me at 7 o'clock and said, "Hey, you got time for a call?" And I'm like, "Oh, I want to find out what he's going to say about my engine." So there you go. So all car talk.
Probably going to say someone sabotaged it and poured Hikari Foodle through it instead of oil.
I
Probably
think
runs better with that though.
that's highly unlikely. That's unlikely, but
He's back, and he wants a live unboxing. Come on,
what
Matt.
What have I been signed up to, Thomas? Where have you been? Where have you been? Oh, nothing's come up yet. We'll see. So we've covered the listener mail, we've covered the random question, we've covered what's going on, and we've managed to waste 50 minutes. Do we talk about niche fish, or do we just make this a not on topic at all? We talked about plecos, and they're a niche fish, and we talked about how the males hide in the caves and makes them easier to catch, even though they're hiding in the cave. You know.
What do you consider a niche fish, like an electric yellow?
Or to some degree, it is. But then, how do we define a niche fish? We should probably do this before the episode. But anyway, that doesn't really matter. It wouldn't really be our thing. But then, I don't really know how to define a niche fish. Something that needs a little bit more care than another fish. But then, are we saying they need more care?
Don't all fish need care?
Yeah. We're saying that it needs more care than a platy. I was trying to think of the hardiest fish I could, and I was going to say a guppy, but then some guppies are notoriously shit and just die for no reason. So, niche fish. So, yeah, I'm a bit stuck with this one.
I thought you were going to hold out a little bit longer and have another awkward silence.
Nah, we've already done a shout out. Niche polar blue. Fuck off with your polar blue parrots. I hate fucking polar blue parrots. They're the shittest fish in the world. Oh my god. Aquarium polar blue parrots. Blech!
Just so everyone's aware, there is an R18 course language warning banner rolling across the bottom of the screen. We'll click the little button that says, does this audio podcast have profanity in it? Because Ryan has been on form today.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's pretty typical. But anyway, okay, so anything that needs any extra level of care. So
more than just water.
I did see that you released a clickbaity, bloody secret of fish keeping once, and your secret was the fish need water.
Yeah, well, it's a pretty decent secret.
I usually don't watch your things, but I watched that and I just felt stupider. It was like watching Eagle versus Shark all over again. You know, like I just felt my intelligence drop so much more.
I really appreciate that some of the people that I call my best friends in fish keeping don't actually watch the content or engage in the content that I make. It makes me feel so much love, and all the work and all the effort that I put in is really appreciated. Thanks, Ryan. From the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for not being involved.
I guess maybe if you made some better content, I would be.
Whoa, shots fired. Maybe if you didn't like such shit fish, you would enjoy the content that I make.
So why don't we talk about some of the ones that people have brought up in the chat. I can't even pronounce those words.
Guess the first one up. I have all the Hikari and approximately 1 million blue polar parrots. So
yeah, well, we're not calling blue parrots and these fish. That is the dumb fish. And Rebecca's put up something that we can't even pronounce. So yeah, cool, great, Rebecca. That's awesome.
Okay, let's all try. Gynotiformois and Onoto Pretidae. The electric fishes, but sadly clowns are in that as clown knives aren't electric. There we go.
Okay. Well, so an electric fish, does that mean you need to plug it in for it to work, or like how does that work?
I think it's all wireless charging now.
Oh, okay. Cool. It's like you put it underneath the tank, do you?
Oh, I enjoyed that.
So someone suggested pufferfish. Well, we call them a niche fish.
I just want to go back to your point. You said that any fish that needs specialized care is a niche fish, but to find specialists like African cichlids need rocks. Some fish need wood. Rebecca keeps telling everybody that plecos don't need wood for digestion because they don't eat it, which continues to kick up a controversy. So, do plecos need wood? Does that make them specialized?
I have 69 tanks of most of them with plecos in them, and not many of them have wood, and they seem to be quite happy in breeding. So, piranha. Yeah, we'll talk about piranhas because we know lots about them. Come on, Jason. Fucking hell, Jason. If you didn't buy me lunch the other week when I was in the city, I would hate you. But you did, so you're lucky you got away with that. All right, and it was really good. But come on. We're going to go through this whole thing and not even talk about fish, are we? That's great. I love that. It wasn't even planned.
We talked about green phantoms. Actually, I have a question because this is something that I genuinely don't know, but someone put a post up about it. That black ghost knives, they poop from their chins.
Yeah, I saw that the other day as well.
Yeah, did you guys know that?
Gross.
No.
I was like, that it is actually real.
Yeah.
Believe so.
Yeah.
I tried doing some research on the Google, and there's lots of forums, but there's no actual scientific pages that I could find.
And one would have to be careful about Googling like poop and chins and stuff and Google because you'd get all sorts of stuff.
I did get taken into some dark places.
Yeah. Okay.
There you go. Ghost knives are the word that we couldn't pronounce earlier.
Yeah, wow. How can she even spell these words, let alone pronounce them? I mean, she could just be making them up anyway, and we wouldn't even know. She's just sitting there, maybe sitting there with a glass of wine, just making shit up, and we're like, "Oh wow, she knows heaps of stuff,"
She also wants to prey on me.
What? Because you're a secret keeper.
Not in the biblical sense.
Thoughts and praise for.
Well, like praying mantis, she wants to mate with you, cut your head off, and eat you.
Maybe we have found met a date after all. There we go.
Or maybe a mate. Look at that. Look at that. We've done it.
I just think for someone who is so careful with her grammar, she got that one rather wrong.
Maybe she was getting it rather right.
Oh, yeah. Ryan's hashtag's working.
And Ryan's hashtag is working.
You're lucky because that box was going to end up with all sorts of decorations and all sorts of stuff on it, but I just had no time to even do it. And in front of the little old courier lady, I just couldn't draw penises all over it because she would have lost her mind. Like she would have.
Just remember, I am sending something to you, and payback is.
But that's part of the fun. Yeah. I think that's genuinely the reason any of us get stuff off each other is just for the box art and the fun that goes with it.
I definitely didn't not send it yesterday on purpose just to wait and see what surprise Ryan would have for me and decide whether or not I needed to retaliate.
I should have sent you a box of rocks. Eels. Fisher was suggested eels. Eels are probably what I call a niche fish. Do you guys know anything about eels? Because I've never kept them. Like your spiny eels, your fire eels,
They creep me out. I won't lie.
I think they're pretty cool in a weird way. They get big too, eh? Like fire eels get big, like 50, 60 centimeters big.
Mm. Yeah, I had a friend that had one, and his one got to about 30, 40 centimeters. It was fucking huge, but it ate everything that was in the tank. He couldn't keep anything with it.
Do they eat? Do they eat fish that are like so big that you think they can't eat them?
Yeah, like it ate a full-grown Jack Dempsey.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm picturing those pictures of like pythons that have eaten like a squirrel or something, and you can see this big massive like squirrel going down the python.
Like on The Simpsons when Bart got eaten by a snake.
Everything in life can be related back to The Simpsons. So there you go.
Certainly can be.
And now we've got a South African swamp eel. It's both male
South
and
American.
female.
Well, we did touch on a niche fish the other day. I think we touched on
we
it.
talked about frontosa.
No, mud skippers.
Mud skippers. Yeah, they're cool. They're cool.
Yeah.
I kept them once. They were cool, but they were dumb because they only ate live food. So that was.
I thought they had frozen foods as well.
My ones only ate live food, so I had to feed them like white worms, and I was catching them slaters and spiders and stuff, and he was chasing them around and eating them, which is pretty cool.
Neil the eel.
Neil the eel.
I like that.
It's funny. Ryan uses a similar name as well.
Oh God!
Sweet baby Jesus.
It's sorry out. Imagine if we did this in the evening and we were drinking. This would be horrific.
Maybe we should do like a Friday podcast, a Friday after work podcast.
I was almost thinking if we can all get together around the wedding sometime and there's enough time, we should do one. It'll be funny if we're all together, especially with young Cam. Get Cam back as a ring-in. That'd be funny.
Sure, we can make that work. There is word on the street that there's a aquarium expo coming up that we're all trying to try and get together for, isn't it?
Oh, we should really do that. We should do that, eh? We should send an email, and we were thinking about trying to maybe lower our appearance fee and show up at the aquarium expo and do a live expose or something. That could be fun.
What do you mean we pay them?
Yeah, well, rather than going for free, we'd have to pay. We'd have to pay them, yeah, pretty much, to put up with us.
How much of a disaster
we might need security. We might need security for Ryan's antics just to protect us. Who knows what he'll say to people when he's actually in front of them.
I need a disclaimer. Yeah. Disclaimers and security definitely be needed. Because I definitely
Ryan already gets us kicked out of public forums, so.
And the bait was never taken. It's still sitting there waiting for someone to take it.
Yeah.
And you saw me get triggered the other day about edited photos too. So there you go. I've been getting triggered by everything recently.
Ryan was very grumpy this week, I found.
No. Maybe it's because you didn't come up. Maybe I was just expressing all my frustration towards you that I had to ship fish and drive around with polyboxes rattling around in my car.
Is the stress of the upcoming wedding?
These poor people who are trying to post a very nice fish got absolutely ripped into by Ryan. Not just once, but multiple times. He couldn't just sit there after he went on a rant the first time and no one engaged, so he tried a second time.
Yeah. But anyway, this guy had edited this photo. Like the fish was real red, but everything else that's supposed to be white in the tank was pink because he just ramped the contrast up, all used fancy lighting. And everyone was like, wow, this fish is amazing. It's like, no, it's not. He's just put it under red light. You're stupid. But anyway, quite common. You also put rare fish. Now, rare fish is an interesting one for me. How do you determine if a fish is rare?
It's normally the back end of it.
Oh, God. It's not even Father's Day and you're pulling out the dad jokes. Come on, me. Come on. We gotta do it. Because I've seen a lot of rare fish for sale on Trade Me before, and they're not that rare or not that great. So, rare has to be rare in the hobby to me. But how do
I guess a rare fish could be someone put a blue cichlid in with a red cichlid and they spawned together and made muddy purple cichlids. So now they've got purple zebra swimming around because that's what African cichlids do. Same fish, different paint job. Would that be considered rare?
Yeah, but look, using the same fish, different paint job analogy, you could probably save yourself a whole heap of time and just say Nelson.
As in Nelson, the fish keeper up north? That's
Yeah,
pretty
no,
amazing.
it's-
What has Nelson ever done to you? That is such a horrible thing to say, Matt.
I actually do have
Apologise.
beef. I actually do have beef with Nelson because a message came out to, I guess I thought it went to me, but obviously went to a lot of people about some fish food that had been New Life Spectrum, that someone had opened the box at a shop and cut all the bags, and they wanted to clear it out really cheap. And I replied straight away and said, yeah, I'll take it. And then I got told, no, sorry, someone else has taken it. And I was real upset. And then Nelson messaged me and said, hey, I just got some real cheap New Life Spectrum because someone had opened the box and cut them. And I was like, you stole my food. He's like, what? It was you. So yeah, I do have beef against them.
What sort of
Matt.
beef?
So biltong. My biltong's coming along nicely, actually. So there you go. All right. Well, I feel like we should probably end this episode so Matt can go put me out of my misery and tell me if those fish made it. And yeah, if you guys want to hear some more about niche fish, maybe we'll actually talk about it sometime.
This was a pretty good effort. I thought we'd actually get on topic for at least 3 to 4 minutes.
Well, we did talk about those green phantom plecos, and they're probably a niche fish. So I think we covered it. Pretty much.
It covers the whole topic.
Everything everyone wants to know.
Cool. So do we want to know what next week's topic is?
Oh, yeah.
Next week's topic, we're discussing common names versus the scientific name debate.
Oh, God. We've done this before, and we don't even know anything about it. It was terrible.
No, we just, well,
Can we
how is
change
it going
the
to be different to, how is it going to be any different to any other conversation that we have? We'll talk shit for 57 minutes, and we'll bring up the topic. And it's like, okay, it's time to go now. Next week's topic is going to be, and away we go.
I think we should change the topic.
Well, it's on the list, and the list says next week is this one, so we're not changing shit.
Yeah, but
We
Ken's
don't
not
have to
here.
change. We don't have to change the topic. We just have to not talk about it, even though it's the topic.
Correct.
So
Correct.
that's all
The
right.
topic will be the
And-
clickbait, and we will be the something that comes with it. I couldn't quite remember the next words to come through.
Well, next week we can either
The
have
disappointment that follows the clickbait is probably what we are. The not so happy ending.
Not to be ending.
just
Just for the record,
surprise everyone though, and we'll spend a whole hour talking on topic.
yeah, that'll
The-
be mind
I
blowing.
think
We won't do listener
maybe
mail.
that-
We won't do what's going around. We'll just do the topic.
As an
Maybe
African
that just needs
cichlid,
to be the stability.
as an
check.
African cichlid keeper, and probably the same with you with some of your cories and stuff, scientific names do. Scientific versus common names do bug me. So yeah, I do have something to say on that, definitely.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yep. Keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, that's all I want to say about that. Because otherwise, I'll say everything I've got to say in the next 2 minutes, and then I've got nothing for next week. So you know.
I've heard you often say everything in the first 2 minutes, and then we've got nothing left afterwards.
So I'm usually asleep by that stage, so it doesn't really matter.
Just for the record, if there is anybody who wants us to discuss a topic,
Discuss.
please.
We don't like discuss.
If there is a topic you want us to pretend to talk about, let us know. Send an email through to podcast3idiots@gmail.com, or you can send a message to any one of us on Facebook or our Facebook pages or what have you. Any topics are good topics, and we'd be willing to not talk about them for a whole hour if that's what you're interested in. So, yeah, bring it on if you've got anything
Also-
you want to hear us talk about.
Unless it's something really dumb like feeding Hikari, we probably will actually talk about it if you want to know about it, and if we know about it. If we don't know about it, then we're just going to ignore it. So it's all right. Also, I sent 2 lots of fish, and 1 lot of fish, which I sent 14 Tropheus Firefox. He said they all arrived alive, but 1 looks a bit sad. So that's pretty good.
Would you like to discuss the effects? Cool, I'll put it on my list. No worries. I'll do that right now. See?
I would like you to discuss the effects of ADHD on aquarium podcasting.
Yeah, it's on the list.
Have you not been watching the effects of it?
Yeah.
If we haven't
It's
shown
on the
you
list.
what the effects are, then I don't know what you're asking. You know, Jesus.
That is listed now for the 16th of October. It's on the list. We're talking about it. Anything else you guys want to talk about? Bring it on. We'll put it on the list. No dramas whatsoever.
Yep, cool. And everything goes on the list, and we just don't do it.
We do it. We just don't do it properly.
Because our ADHD prevents us from actually keeping on topic.
Because we're like seagulls and we see shiny things and we go, ooh. Yeah, let's talk about Frontosa instead of American cichlids. Just came looking for a few strays. Okay. That was weird. Anyway, we'll talk to you guys next week, and when we probably won't talk about scientific names versus common names. So, yeah, enjoy. Have a good fishy week. Matt, I'm looking forward to all those fish making it alive. And for Baisha, I got told prawns too. Well, Mitchell, if you don't understand what thyromaintanine is, then you need to do some work, mate, because we've already told you not to feed prawns to your fish.
Or Hikari, for
Come
that
on.
matter.
Or Hikari. Just don't feed them prawns or Hikari.
And if anyone wants some cheap food, I think Kirsty's got a whole heap going. Actually, I could do a giveaway.
Giveaway, yeah. Give it to you, then you can promote your page and give your rubbish to someone else. Sounds like Facebook Marketplace all over again. All right, guys. See you later.
Cool. Have a good one, Tim.
Bye.
Bye.